Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It's your boy Kerry here. We're back again with another video. Okay, so this week was one of my I could say this week was the best week so far for the month of July trading, right? This week I made well over 6% on some of my accounts and 5% on some of the accounts. But some of the accounts were already up, some of the accounts were already up 4%, some were up 5, 6, and 7, yeah. But last week I could say last week was a slow week. Why? Took some losses last week. Ended up digging the account because I think my most of my accounts were up 8%. Like my funding pips, good funded, and ACG. My ACG they were up about 8 point something percent, right? Took some losses, got it down to about 4%. But this week came in great. Ended up smacking all my fee. I think I had over 9 accounts evaluations with funding pips, alpha capital, and good funded. All the phase ones got passed. Like I no longer have any phase one accounts, only phase two right now. But I'll be looking to purchase more phase one soon. I don't know. Maybe if I secure some payouts this month, I might purchase maybe 1 or 2 phase ones with those firms again. I always like to have a phase one account. I'm trying to pass. Why? Because on my funded account, the way I trade, if I make 2 to 3% on the account, I'm done. Because I don't have only one. So if I make 2 to 3% on an account, I'm done trading with the account, right? And I'll focus now on my evaluations to get more funding. But yeah, there'll be times where I'll get another account and maybe I'll start trying to like get more after I'm seeking some profit. But for now, I just want to get as much as possible slowly. Yeah. So let me show you guys the email right here. Okay, if you guys can look over my screen, you guys can look over my screen right here. I don't know if it's showing visible, right? You can see just emails from good funded. I'm gonna add an attachment. These are emails from Alpha Capital, good funded, and funding pips with all the accounts passed, right? So I want to show you guys a trade recap for this week. The trades I took that secured me those banger setups. So let's get right into the breakdown. Okay, so coming over to gold right here. This was on Monday, I believe market open, right? I was looking to sell. So the first thing I spotted was this inefficiency. Waited for my reaction as usual. Price came, tapped into the inefficiency after opening with a huge gap. My aim was I was expecting this gap to get filled. No, by Tuesday at least. Most of the time, it barely fills it on Tuesday. It could come down like on Monday, go up, then Tuesday now it comes in and filling. So I was really expecting this gap to get filled, but no, not all of the time will this gap get filled. And okay, so as soon as price gave this displacement to the downside, as usual, I saw my sweet beautiful 15-minute, right, entries of the 50% as usual, and stop loss was at this high right here. So I was aiming for this area for 1:2, potential 1:4. I was aiming for 1:4 actually. But then if we fast forward price, you'll notice what price did. So I set my alarm, my limit order, right, to expire 7:30 because I don't treat London session. I won't open any position during London session, right? So you can see right here, price came in. This was the 7:30 candle. Price came in, failed to tap in my entry right here and missed this setup. My limit got expired then at exactly 8 o'clock, which was the London session price triggered. I woke up, I saw it, right? I even saw this. If we delete this right here, you can see I saw this area right here on the CFD. It was more clear to enter off of it, but I refuse because that's really the part of discipline. So you can see price came here, gave all this reaction. The first thing I also be waiting for during Asia is to get my previous session sweep, which I got the sweep, as you can see right here, leaving behind this beautiful 15-minute inefficiency. At some point I was quite annoyed why price like tanked down to the tanked to the downside without me. But then if we come over here, we can see this was a trade setup. Took it and stops were above here. So there was a 1 hour fair value gap right here. As price started dropping down to the downside, I already had it in mind. If price came down to this point right here without hitting my sell limit, this trade for me will be invalidated, right? So waited. You can see this 15-minute fair value gap was also confirmed on the 30-minute. These are usually one of my best fair value gaps, right? So what did I do? Waited, price came down. You know, on some days I might have deleted this limit, but now I kept holding 5:30 because maybe around 6 o'clock London time, that's when I like be like, if I haven't gotten the trade yet, I might delete all of my orders. But yeah, price triggered me at 5:30. A bit, you will draw down, dropped out of it. Then I also saw an opportunity right here to scale in, which these were the two trades I took, right? Stops trail to this high, then the first stops of this trade now were trail to this high. This is now my scaled in entry. This is one of the methods I use to get higher risks to reward, right? But most this one I said take profit here for these trades I took, right? So this total trade was about 4, 5, 6, 7 hours in total. So what's the price though? Because the price came in, tapped in. Yeah, somewhere here, Trump said they won't be having any deal. Price started rallying. I was like, maybe this trade will hit my stop loss, but nah, it didn't. You can see, fast forward price. I held the sell. Why? I like holding sell setups because the brokers won't charge me. The brokers won't charge me anything. They will rather pay me to hold a sell position on gold. And if you just fast forward price, we can see how beautifully our price melted into our area of take profit, filling this um fair value this market weekly opening gap right here, and potentially taking our order take profit right here. That was the first trade I took this week, right? You can see beautiful setup on gold. But I closed some trades right here. That was on my live account, which I was already up because I was down on the account. I think I was down 2% on two of my funded accounts, and the other account I never took any trade on. But then I took this trade on the account, secured me. Yeah, the trade secured me well over 3.2%, I think, on the funded account, which is already due for withdrawal. I'm really happy. So let me show you guys the next trade I took. Okay, so coming over to the trade I took, this was, I think, Tuesday, right? This was the only setup I took, but I wasn't like fond of this setup because of the timing and everything. But one thing I liked about this setup was we had a reaction here, right? We had a reaction of this our 15-minute inefficiency right here. But then I took this as a what sweep. I could just say this setup wasn't like it was bad, but it was just one of those setups where the timing was actually like wrong. Then as usual, I have my FVG, right? So for this setup, I came over to the 5-minute. This was where my entry was on this trade. I took this trade right here. Stops were here. Stops were here. This was the setup. I was targeting more than this. I was targeting this FVG right here. For 1:3. You can see price came in, tapped me. I don't really want to go into detail because I like this sweep, then the break to the upside. Price came in, tapped me, but this timing for me was a really bad timing. What happened during market gap here? I trailed all of my stops to this area right here. So I was really expecting market with the way it was going. I never liked it. So took the L, price stopped me out here, failed to close out on the full losses. Then this was not the real loss I took. For fast forward price a bit, right? Okay, we can see I waited for price because on the futures, the CFD chart, right? I should mainly on the futures chart. I'm not doing this video on the on the futures date chart is because of the skip of the data from January. I think now it's at August, something like that. For those who trade futures to understand what I was saying, what I meant by that. But then we had this FVG here on the futures chart. It was really printed out, right? And I won't say anything about, but I will just say yes, the data the way I took it wasn't the best. But even though I never really liked this setup, I still went ahead and took sales right here. Right? Price immediately came stopping me out. But as soon as price stopped me out, I waited to see. Maybe my buys were still correct. Right? The timing was just wrong. Then as soon as I got this confirmation right here, that's when I confirmed that indeed these buys were correct. You can see price came out, took out the previous session low, which was the the New York lows, right? This is one of my best entry model. Then what the price do? Price came out with this. Price came out with this. Then I took my buys as usual. I set my limit, and I was targeting even higher for this setup. Yeah, I think I was targeting this fair value gap right here. Yeah, that was my entry. You can see what price did. Price came in. You can see price tapped me in, right? This setup, one of the setup I see like really pissed me off. Why? I've had a lot of break evens this month. I'm not gonna lie to you. You can see price came well over 2.8 risk to reward, taking out this New York highs. But then I wasn't seeing this area as an area of exit, or this was where my first exit point would be here. I just said this on some of my accounts, then the rest of the accounts were up here. What did price do? Price came back, stopped me. And most of the time, because I didn't understood this, if price is taking out this area right here, this setup won't be valid for me to like try to force any buys again from this area. So what I did was waited. All my trades will break even right here, right? In some scenarios, price will always give me a confirmation that it's a reversal, and I'll end up closing my profits halfway. It's still better than break even, right? But then this wasn't the case right here. I accepted the break even and moved on. As soon as price took out both, you can see price took out both session lows. That was the confirmation I usually need. Then took this area, so strong rejection area right here. Had my sell here. The reason I messed up, even though I'm happy this thing happened real fast, I took my sales here. Target was somewhere around. Target wasn't there. I think my target was around sales here. Yes, I was targeting 4 risk to reward on this setup. The 4 risk to reward hit. I wasn't taking all of my accounts, right? Because of this break even, this was like the first loss, big break even. I wasn't really feeling this other trade. But I had some of my accounts I could say, yeah, I could like play with it, you know. I took this trade on 2 of my funded accounts. I think I set the limit and I left. Price came back, tapped in that limit like with the flash burst, and I was down 2%. I was legit down 2% on those accounts. You know, I was feeling off about it. FOMC came out, though I had my buys. You can see the buys were still playing out pretty much well. Now this is where it gets sweet, right? This is where it gets sweet. What else? You can see price came here again. There was a fair value gap. You can see, notice this is our first sale for Monday, right? Price came in back to that area. I started respecting the area. That was already my sign number 1, but I wasn't in a hurry or anything. I waited. Then price gave me this sales right here, which I took. But then it wasn't the best. I don't like taking trades before the 2 a.m. Asian time. But if I see a good setup, I'm going to take it. If the risk to reward is at least 1:4, I'm going to take it and risk 0.5% for 1:4. That's a good return if you ask me. So I didn't take it like exactly at this point. This was where I took most of those trades here. Stops were at this area right here. Then target was somewhere around here, if I'm correct. Okay, even though since it was a market order, some opened here, some opened here, some opened here. It wasn't just like the same, but yeah, this was the first setup I took. Then you can see fast forward price. What happened? I waited now for the 2 a.m. You can see this 2 a.m. open. Even when price came down, price also left this 15-minute fair value gap. As soon as price left the 15-minute, I knew that this was an area I was going to sell off from immediately, right? So the first thing I did was I trailed this stop loss to somewhere around here. Yeah, I left about 2 ounce space, right, for gold. Then I needed this confirmation. If this candlestick, the 2 a.m. candle, if this candlestick had broke past this area, everything here will be invalidated. That's why I say I never even set any limit order. This 2 a.m. open for Asia is similar to the 9:30 open for New York, right? This New York Stock Exchange. These are where big players are entering. So I waited to see. As soon as I got the confirmation that this place was going to hold, I then went ahead and set my limit order right here. This is where I enter now most of my accounts for a 1:4, if I'm correct. Yeah, 1:4, because my take profit was somewhere around here. As you can see, so this was the setup. Very, very beautiful setup. You can see price came in, delivered very beautifully, took me out of the drawdown that I was in, because since I was already in a drawdown of 2%, I took this here risking 0.5%. All right, this 0.5% I was risking right here, that was for $1,000, which it did hit on my funded account, bringing me out of the drawdown. Then I took this here, since I was already in this setup right here, and you know, funding peeps with their rules. If you lose over 1% or up to 1.2%, they're going to give you that striking system and everything. So I was risking a bit less here. But then I ended up from minus 2% drawdown to over 2.5% plus. That was very beautiful if you ask me. Then I had another account. I wasn't any drawdown. Took the setup on it. I think I did the 3.2% in it. Very, very, very beautiful. This trade got most of my accounts up, right? Got most of my accounts up. Like, it was a very beautiful setup. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And I think that's another trade I took. This was Thursday, right? Yeah, this was on Thursday. For fast forward price a bit. Okay, you can see price immediately came here, hit my take profit in a snipe, came back. But I didn't know this area for me. I had nothing to do here. London for me usually manipulation period, so I don't do anything with London. That's why I say I exclusively don't trade London. So came here, the manipulation happened, price took out the highs. But then as soon as price took out the highs, I had some accounts, because this here passed most of my accounts already, right? I had one account left to pass. So as you can see, as London open, I see as price gave this, I already knew price was going to take out this high right here as soon as this place was invalidated, right? Because I'm a continuation trader type. I mainly react off of the data, the information the market is presenting to me at the time. So with this setup, I never even went 1:3. But I needed just 1.70% to pass, or 2% at max, which this setup did in fact deliver the 2%. This setup did in fact deliver the 2%, passing the remaining accounts I had. Very, very beautiful. This is how I secured well over 6% this week on some accounts, 5% this week. Also getting some funded account with ACG, which I'm going to do that in another video. But you can see right here, this was how the week went by. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you like the content you see, I'll be very happy if you guys could support me by liking the video, subscribing, you know. done over 80 videos lately, still at 22 subscribers, and it's just kind of, how it feels. But I keep pushing, But I really appreciate if you guys could like support the channel, like, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.